Am I the asshole for getting the ultimate revenge on my cheating husband before divorcing him? For 8 years, I thought I had the perfect marriage. My husband, Jake, was charming, successful, and the kind of man who could walk into a room and command attention. We met in college, where he was the smooth-talking business major, and I was the quiet but ambitious literature student. He was the kind of man who made promises, big, sweeping ones, about our future, our dream home, and the family we would have someday. I supported him through everything. When he struggled to find a job after graduation, I worked 2 shifts at a local bookstore to keep us afloat while he got his foot in the door at a financial firm. I believed in him. When he finally landed his dream job, he promised that our life was about to change. And it did, for him. Suddenly, he was pulling in 6 figures, making new friends, and working late hours. At first, I told myself it was normal. Success required sacrifice. But then, the subtle changes started. He became more secretive with his phone. He started taking weekend, business trips that I wasn't invited to. He'd come home with expensive cologne that I hadn't bought for him. I ignored the signs for as long as I could. Until the night I found proof. The night everything changed. It was a random Wednesday. Jake had gone to bed early, exhausted from back-to-back meetings. I was about to close my laptop when I noticed he had left his work email open on our shared device. Normally, I wouldn't have checked, but something told me to look. The first thing I saw was an email from Emily, his 25-year-old assistant. Emily, I miss you already. Last night was amazing. Wish we didn't have to sneak around. Jake. Soon, babe. She won't suspect a thing. I'll be free soon. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. This wasn't just a casual affair. He was planning to leave me. For her. The betrayal settled deep in my bones, but instead of confronting him in a fit of rage, I calculated my next move. If he was going to destroy my life, I would burn his to the ground first. Step 1: The perfect wife act. For the next month, I played my role flawlessly. I kissed him goodbye in the mornings, made his favorite meals, and even suggested a romantic getaway, one I never intended to take. Meanwhile, I gathered evidence. Every email, every text message, every hotel receipt. I even went through our bank statements and found charges for fancy dinners, weekend getaways, and gifts, all for her. Jake was so confident in his lies that he didn't notice my sudden interest in finances. I started moving money out of our joint account into my personal one. Small amounts at first, nothing noticeable. I also met with a lawyer to ensure I had the upper hand when it was time to file for divorce. The more I dug, the worse it got. He had even lied to Emily about our marriage. He told her I was cold, that I didn't care about him, that we were practically separated. The irony, I had spent years supporting him, building our life, and sacrificing my own dreams for his success. Not anymore. Step 2. Financial warfare. Once I had gathered enough evidence, I prepared for war. 1. Closed off his access to my assets. Our house was in my name, something he never cared about before, so I put it on the market. 2. Cancelled his credit cards. The ones under my name were immediately shut down, and I made sure to freeze our joint account right before he was about to take Emily on a lavish weekend trip. 3. Transferred my direct deposit. Instead of our shared account, my salary now went into a personal one he had no access to. One morning, he called me from work, furious. Jake, why the hell is my card declining? I was trying to pay for lunch. Me, oh, that's strange. Must be a bank error. You should call them. He grumbled something about handling it and hung up. Little did he know, his access to my money was permanently cut off. Step 3. Career destruction. Jake prided himself on being a family man. His entire professional reputation was built on being stable, responsible, and trustworthy. His company valued image, and an affair with his assistant. Not a good look. So, I made sure they found out. I compiled a detailed anonymous package with screenshots of his explicit emails and texts with Emily from his work email. Proof that he used company funds for personal expenses like their hotel stays. A written statement explaining how his inappropriate behavior with an employee violated company policy. I sent it to HR, his boss, and the company's board of directors. Within a week, Jake was called into a meeting. By the end of the day, he was fired. Emily was let go, too. Apparently, their little office romance wasn't so secret after all. That evening, he came home in a rage. Jake, I lost my effing job today. Do you know what that means? I built that company. Me. Wow, that's awful. I barely contained my smirk. He paced around, furious, while I sipped my wine. Little did he know, his worst nightmare was just beginning. Step 4. Public humiliation. Jake had no idea what was coming next. I waited until our anniversary. He had made plans to take Emily out thinking I was unaware, so I set the trap. That morning, I emailed all our mutual friends and family a link to a Google Drive folder containing screenshots of his affair, a breakdown of all the money he spent on Emily, a copy of his termination letter. Then, I packed my bags and left. When he came home that night, expecting to take Emily to dinner, he found 1. Divorce papers on the table. 2. An eviction notice since the house was mine. 3. A final text from me, check your email. Enjoy the show. Step 5. My new beginning. I sold the house, took every penny I was entitled to, and moved to a new city. I restarted my career, traveled, and even began dating again. Jake, on the other hand, lost everything. His job, gone. His reputation, ruined. Emily, left him when she realized he was broke. He tried calling, begging, apologizing. But I never looked back. So, I ate for ruining my cheating husband's life before divorcing him. No, he played a game, and I made sure he lost.